Hello, 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 all my machine heads, and welcome back to the Realistic Farming Series for Farming Simulator 22, where we use real tractors, we use real equipment, we have realistic tutorials, and we have a real lot of fun. Welcome back to Calmsden Farm, everyone. We are in mid-barley harvest. I want to take a few minutes and correct a few of the things that I had said to you, and I want to get it out of the way before we get started. First of all, I only own 2 fields. I don't own 3. For some reason, I kept thinking we only owned 3, but we owned this one and the wheat field over on the other farm. My apologies. I was mistaken. Dun, dun, dun. Let me take a few seconds, make sure I'm recording. You'll lose sound, but you won't lose me. And I'll keep talking, and I'll keep talking, and I'll keep talking. And yes, we are recording. Yay! So how's everybody doing tonight? It is 11:04 p.m. I'm early tonight on a Sunday morning. Well, it's actually going to be Monday morning by the time I get done recording this. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing fantastic as usual. Thank you, Ranger, for giving me a heads up about the new air sounds for the manual attach. Guess who downloaded them? I did. So we're going to test those out sometime today. We're going to get busy, and we're going to continue on our barley harvest here, and then hopefully get a little bit more done. We are on hour 4 of this harvest. It is 83 degrees Fahrenheit. I changed the time. We are going extreme. Did some figuring, like I told Grizzly Bear Sims. I did some figuring, and it's gonna take us some time. So I upped the time, so quite a bit. Let's see where we are at here. Is it on this one? Yes. Get my mouse out. We have harvested 10.62 acres in 3 hours, so we are averaging just a little under 3 acres an hour, which in real life is extremely fast, but that's okay. We are flying through fuel, so we've got to be careful because even though I've got it on low, it's still we're flying through. I don't know. I'm not in a vehicle, but I'll look over at my sim dashboard. We've played a total of 4 hours. Year 1. Yay! So before we get started, and I've got to start getting my intros just a little bit shorter so we can keep working. I asked you guys yesterday, let's get the trivia out of the way. What is the 2 measurements that farmers use to measure fields? And it is a hectare and it is an acre. That's the 2 major measurements that farmers use to measure their fields. So in Europe, they use hectares. In the United States, we use acres. So here's your trivia question for today. What is the size of a hectare and what is the size of an acre? You tell me what the difference is and what the sizes are. Ready? Go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. And your final answer, and go. I also wanted to let you guys know this is not on the in-game mod hub. I wanted to correct myself on that one. I got this off King's Mods. I will put the link in the description. I thought it was the in-game mod hub, but it's not. This is off King's Mods. This was a mod that was converted over from Fs19, and it is now in Fs22, and it is a phenomenal mod. So first things first, let's get busy here. We're going to take this over to our shed. We're going to drop it off, and then we're going to start harvesting some more barley and try to fill up our harvester. So hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I did. That's quite the little hump. I'm going to have to terraform that if I want to continue to... you guys can always tell when I'm using my joystick. Look at the steering wheel. This is the steering wheel. This is the joystick. See the difference? Super fast. But also, while we're driving, thank you, and welcome to the family, all the new members. We are rocking and rolling. We're getting some people joining. And the thing that's exciting to Fury is this series is, and I'm getting members. I don't even call them subscribers. I think that's the dumbest thing to call people. I think it should be members of a family. The people that are joining now are people that want to see realistic series, and it's super exciting to me. We did, like I said, we did have some people in the beginning drop off, and I figured them to be a little bit younger. They didn't want to see a realistic series. They want me to fly around and go 900 miles an hour and stuff like that, and that's fine. I will have those series too, every once in a while. For the most part, from here on out, every series going forward will be a realistic series, and we'll go from there. And thank you to all of you guys, Danny and Michael. I think Mike. Yeah, Mike. Oh, whoops. Fury went too far. Michael and everybody else who gave me a little brief description of themselves. It was awesome. Apparently, Danny Beats, his family's got a little, not a big farm, but they got a little farm. And he's done some farming, and he's done some things like that, and it's pretty cool. Love the sound of that. And we've got some older people in here. It's, oh, man, I love it. I love to learn about you guys, too. Get that started. Get my pipe in. All right, we can watch it in the mirror. There she is. She's loaded up. I'm going to go down here now. We're going to go right here. Back up a little bit. Turn her on. Get her lowered. I want to get out and I want to check. All right, now you see how, I don't know if this header's adjustable, but you want to be able to have this, all this part right here does, the spinning part, fluffs up the barley. So that you can, so that these things, like a sickle bar mower, can cut them down. So this is all this is. So this is actually a little bit high. So let's see if we can raise that. Might not be able to on this one. This model you might not be able to. I know that some of the models, let me put my joystick back down and we'll start driving like normal. I missed some barley already. But yep, I'm glad that you guys are getting an opportunity to see what real farming and how long it really, really takes. We are at noon, as you can see. I decided to leave the HUD up so you guys can follow along on August 30th or 31st. However many days is in August. Is it 31st? Is it 31 days in August? I think it is. We are on the last day of August, and tomorrow will be September 1st. And that way you guys will be able to know exactly where we are. And I'm super excited. Like I said, I'm so happy that you guys enjoy the series, that you're staying in interactive and you're staying in what's the word I'm looking for? Engaged. Yes, the videos are just a little bit longer, but I figured I'm already gonna, because I want to play like 12 hours a day, and then I want to represent sleep, because in real life you sleep. You don't. I know there's a mod out there that is the survival challenge where you don't sleep. And yes, farmers do work into the middle of the night, many days. We would start harvesting at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and it would be 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, still harvesting. So, but generally speaking, we would do that in waves. If there was 3 or 4 of us, we would just go home and we would sleep in between, and then 2 people are going, and then vice versa. So I'm going to be playing as realistically, like I said, as I can, sleeping. I want to play from Normally, farmers, if you've got a dairy farm, you're starting anywhere from 4 o'clock in the morning, because usually, generally, I can't speak for every dairy farmer, but we milked our cows at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you would get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and it takes quite a while to get the cows down. You got to go out, you got to shoo them in, and a lot of times the cows will automatically know that it's milking time, so they'll come anyways. But some cows are stubborn. They're still laying down on the field. They're still doing the stuff. And I'm talking in the summer, because in the summer, they're out pretty much all the time. And then, except for like really, really late night, like you would bring them in to the barn. But generally speaking, if it's warm outside, they're out all the time. So they're laying down in the field. They're laying down in the grass. You got to go out and get them. And you'd start at 5. We'd milk them at 5. By the time they were done milking, it was around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. If we had school that day, we'd head off to school. Dad would always finish milking. And then as soon as we came home, we always had so many chores. So many chores. You're always doing all kinds of stuff. Harvest season was the worst, because you're constantly doing something. There we go. Oh, Fury's legs are sticking to my chair again. You'd think I'd learn my lesson. Let's turn this off so we can drive a little bit more faster down to the other end. Yeah, we'll go down here and start cutting this the long way. It's a little bit more of a drive than I want, but I don't want to cut the field again. Want to stay to the outsides and start chipping away at this field, try to get it done. There we go. So that's why I decided to up the time. Like I said, I had a discussion with Grizzly Bear. Make sure you guys are checking out his channel. He deserves a lot of respect. He's on his race to, let's push him between everybody that is on my channel, everybody's on Farmer Z's channel, everybody that is on all of our channels combined. Let's push Grizzly Bear over 2,000 subs. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can get him to get up to the 2,000 sub mark, and then we'll throw him some kind of party. My dream team to play a map. I've already got several invitations. Triple D Honey wants to come on and help me harvest. The only thing is, Triple, is if you're playing on console and I'm playing on PC, a lot of the mods that I use are PC only. So that runs into a situation where you wouldn't be able to play, even though we can play cross-platform, because Danny Beats and I did it, making his birthday cake. He's on PS4 and I'm on PC, and we did it. But what we did is we did it super. I went with the mods that he had, so I joined his server because I can get his mods. He can't necessarily get mine. So that's the problem that we have. But I'm not opposed to, if I'm going to play with somebody that's cross-platform, and I have absolutely zero problem doing that. I've done it with several people. Just because you're on console doesn't mean you're a bad farm sim player or a bad person. You're a good person. You just have a console instead of a PC. Nothing wrong with that. If I plan to play again with somebody on console, or console or whatever, however you pronounce it, I don't know. It's console or is it console? I think it's console. I want to make sure we're as vanilla as we can, because even some of our in-game Mod Hub stuff that's out for PC isn't necessarily out for PS4 yet, or Xbox. I'm not quite sure if Farm Sim's on Xbox. I know it's PS4 and PS5. I know that. So that's what we could do. I'd like to start a series with some console players and get going on that and make it a multiplayer server as far as cross-platform. But it'll be a basic, and it's kind of terrible because, like I said, some of my mods I can't live without. One of them being Sim Dashboard. I will not play without it. Because right now, if I was to shut the HUD off, I can look over at my sim dashboard, and even though it's up on the screen, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it legitimate. 11:18 p.m. at night, so I don't need the real clock mod in. It's August 3rd, last day of August. It says August 12/16, 87 degrees with a low of 68, 573,000, 3 miles an hour, second gear. I've got everything. So I could turn the HUD off right now, and I would be able to play without the HUD on and still see everything. But it'll come, Triple. It'll come. We'll make a nice little series on something. I've got to get with... There's a couple of people that I promised first to get ultimately going first. I'm going to be doing a big map, and I think Fury has decided to do Deer Creek or County Line with Farmer Z. I think he's leaning towards County Line. He's going to be working in depth with me, everyone, so just everyone knows. He's going to be working in depth with me on the streaming aspect of it, getting me set up. I've already got all the streaming equipment. I use Streamlabs OBS. That's what I record with, so I'm going to stream with Streamlabs OBS. But he's going to help me get set up with how to set up the chat and all that stuff. He's got my personal email, so he's going to be walking me through that. Because I do want to stream. I absolutely want to stream. And what I'd like to do is set aside a certain day with Farmer Z that if he's streaming on Wednesday night or Thursday night, whichever night he streams, I stream with him. And we have, I saw the coolest thing today. Farm Sim Guy, Kedrick Farms, and Argsy Farming. Argsy? I think that's how you say his name. Those of you out there who know him, let me know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Argsy, A-R-G, whatever, S-Y. Super guy. I think he's from Australia. Super guy. They were streaming on Flint Hills, one of my all-time favorite maps, and they were saying goodbye to his Fs22. It was like a final stream, but all three of them were streaming live at the same time. And between the three streams, they had, like, one guy had like 200 people watching, one guy had like 150 watching, and another one had like 200. So it was like almost 1,000 people watching between the three streams. So what I want to do is get set up with Farmer Z's help, and on that one night a week that he streams live, I want to stream live, and we do it at the same time. And then between my viewers and his viewers and combining viewers, we can build each other's channel. That's what my goal is. And he's going to help me with it, and he's going to set me up, and I'm super excited about that. And of course, I'll have this series. This will be my single-player realistic series, and then I'll have my streaming. And then I do want to set up one day a week to record with my console players. But like I was saying earlier, my dream team would be Farmer Z, Grizzly Bear Sims, and Raznik. No offense to all of the rest of you guys, but Raznik has been a mentor of mine, Grizzly Bear Sims has been a mentor of mine, and Farmer Z is just the absolute most awesome dude. I mean, listen, for a guy that's fairly new at the channel, or at the Farm Sim game and the YouTube stuff, I mean, he may not be new to Farm Sim, I'm not quite sure. Never really talked to him about it, but he is new to the YouTube. He is absolutely taken off because he's a super dude, he's super engaging, and he's awesome. Grizzly, we all know, I mean, 6 years, 7 years, I think he said he's been doing it for 6-7 years now. He's established in this community. He knows what he's talking about. He's got a lot of respect in this community, and he's just one of my guys. And Raznik, it was with me from day one. Very, very, very first sub I ever got was Raznik, and he's walked me through how to get my channel set up. He's walked me through how to thing, and guess what? The game I'm playing right now, Farm Sim 22, guess where I got it from? I got it from Raznik. And guess where I got it? How I got it? I won it on his stream. I was one day just in randomly, it was towards the end of FS19 before 22 dropped out, and he was giving giveaways, and I was like, oh, what the heck, I'll enter it, don't think anything of it. I was prepared to buy it anyways. And next thing you know, he picks my name and he's like, Fury Machine, you won the game. And all I had to do was send him my information from Steam, and he sent me this game, and I'm playing it right now. And I wouldn't be able to play this if it wasn't for, I could, because I would have just bought it. But I'm playing it right now because I got it free, because I won it. That's what I want to get to. I want to get to the point where we're getting big enough to where I can start having giveaways, and I can have the same people have the same feeling that I had when I got this game, when I won it. Fury doesn't win a lot of stuff in life. I'm old, so I don't enter a lot of stuff, and I don't do a lot of stuff. But for me to win a game, a farm sim game, which I'm already addicted to, as far as, like I told you guys last night, since FS13. To win a game, I've never won really anything in my whole life other than at sports. And that's manufactured. You get into what you worked. You know what I mean? Sports are different than gaming. And so that's my dream team, is those three guys. But I'm going to set up, this is my goal, I'm going to set up a once-a-week stream with Farmer Z, and it's just going to be him and I think there's two maps that we've pretty much chosen. I think Deer Creek is one of them, and County Line. He mentioned on his stream that he wanted to do County Line. But I'm going to wait for County Line until because it's not going to hit any Mod Hub sites. It's not going to hit Giants, because there's too much going on in the map. So I'm going to wait until it's version 2 or 3. And I think that's the thing. But the three big guys were going on Deer Creek, and those I was on Argzy's stream yesterday or the day before, and he's going at 9-10 miles an hour. He streamed for like 5 hours. I won't stream that long. I won't. I'll stream for about an hour, hour and a half, and that's it, because I got it. Remember, guys, I still got to record these videos at night, which is an hour. And then I want to get one day a week where I'm setting up with my console players, and that'll be for an hour. And then the streaming. So, having 3 or 4 different stuff going on during the week is plenty for me, and it'll give me a chance also to continue to move this series at a snail's pace. We're not moving fast, but we're moving. We're almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon already. So the other decision I made as far as this series goes is I'm not going to, normally we would start at 6 o'clock. I'm going to start at 8, and that's only because of the light purposes. At 6 o'clock in the winter, when it hits September, October, November, it's still dark at 6 o'clock. We all know that. Remember No Man's Land, when one of my starting episodes was we were starting early, and it was dark. So it's like, I can't, as I explained to you guys yesterday, or when we bought the tractor, when was that? A couple days ago? Where am I here? Let me turn. Okay, good. I see it. You can't realistically start recording in the dark. I can, but you guys will just be hearing me talk. You won't be able to see much, and that's not fun either. So we're going to go from 8 in the morning until 4 every day. Now, granted, when we get to January, February, March, or January and February anyways, it'll start getting dark about 4 o'clock anyways, so we may only be able to play from 8 until 3 or, whatever. But that's all. That's the only reason I'm doing it, is because of the light purposes. And when I rewatched my video on No Man's Land, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning, it was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. All I heard myself talking. I couldn't see the tractor. I couldn't see nothing what I was doing. Now, granted, at 6x speed, it only took 15 minutes for it to get light out, but it was the fact of 15 minutes of darkness, and as a content creator, I don't want that. So that's what we're going to do. So when we go to sleep at 6 tonight, we'll sleep until 8 o'clock, and then we'll get up and we'll probably continue harvesting. I'm hoping to be done with harvesting this field by then. And it will be about 10 hours that it took us to harvest this field. And that's about right. If it's about a 20-acre field, that's about right. So, but thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. I'm just blown away by the amount of comments I get. And as you guys know, you guys all know, those of you who comment on my videos, I am out there. I sign on to YouTube 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day, and I get my comments. I don't always get them when they first come out, but I do get them. I try to at least 5 times a day get on, even if it's just for a few minutes. Check how the views are doing, check how the channel's doing. I rewatch my video just to make sure it's playing. Because when you upload a video to YouTube, you can watch the video yourself. Yes, boom, I own the video because I recorded it. But once you upload it to YouTube, you can watch it on your own little thing where it says your channel, and you can go under it, you can watch it. What I do is I sign off YouTube on purpose. Then I go on regular YouTube and I look up my name, and I make sure that the search bar works for my video. Okay? I don't know how many other content creators do that, but I do it just to make sure that my video plays and loads, because of course it's going to play great in my YouTube channel, because that's where I uploaded it to. But I want to make sure, like if I was going on YouTube tomorrow and I'm not a member of Fury's team here, that's what we're going to call each other. We're a family and a team. If I'm not a member of his team, then I'm not going to be able to see any of his stuff. So I'm searching Calmsden Farm Realistic Series, and I want to make sure my video comes up. I want to make sure it comes up under the search bar. So all those things. I mean, is it required? No. I want everybody to know that that's not required. Never had an issue like that before, but I just double check, and that's the little things that got me paranoid. And I think it goes back to Fs22 when I was doing a video, and I uploaded it, and on my channel part, I'm watching it, and everything was played fine. When I went to go back and check it for how it played, it only played like a minute and a half of the video, and then, ooh, I don't want to harvest that fast. And then it stopped. I'm like, what the heck's going on? So that's why, ever since then, I've been paranoid. Like I told Farmer Z in our email, I emailed him yesterday or the day before. I'm nervous to start streaming. Not for me. I don't have a problem talking on camera and things like that. You guys all know that. I ramble for an hour every night. That's not the issue. I don't have a problem with my recording. I don't have anything. What I'm nervous about is being able to answer the chat at the same time and play, because I'm nonstop talking. When you just record a video, you can come on and you're kind of talking in your own little world. You're talking in third person most of the time, and you're just kind of talking to hear your own voice. It's sad. But I just want to make sure that I'm able to interact, and we're going to practice. We're going to do a bunch of test streams, and I'm going to have Farmer Z come on and make sure that everything's on my end. And because I did hear, like, for me, I'm recording in 1440. I upload in 1080 because I figured not everybody has 1440. So I upload in 1080, but I'm recording. I don't have a problem with that. I heard through the grapevine that you have to stream at a lower graphics. Like, a lot of people will stream at 720. I'm hoping to still be able to stream at 1080. And I should, with the computer I have set up, I should be able to do that. That doesn't worry me. But it's just little things like that. Plus, it's something new, and I've never done it before, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but nothing that I can't handle. Nothing that, once I get the hang of it and we get a couple of live streams out of the way, I'll be fine. As you guys know, for an hour every single night, you come into my room with me, you come into my dining room with me, and you spend an hour with me every single night. You guys are sitting there and you're being super interactive, doing that sort of thing. But hey, Ranger, check it out. Now you see how the header. We're doing a little tutorial, and I always point it out to Ranger because he's the one that is excited when I show him. You see how the header is spinning, right? It's spinning clockwise, right? Yep, clockwise. Yeah, clockwise. And it's those, but yet the let me back up a little bit here, show him. Okay, but you see he likes it when I do this. Ready? All right, but you see how it's spinning clockwise, but the pins on the things are opposite. It's specifically designed so that when it's spinning, it's fluffing this up like I showed you guys at the beginning. All right, and it's designed for that. It's weird how when you can see it from in here, like the pins, we called them the pins, but it's the little the bars, each individual bar that comes down we called it a pin. But they're spinning and they're angled weird. Like if you look at it like this, it looks like it's digging into the ground, but it's not. What it's doing is it's lifting the barley and straightening the barley, and then that little cutter bar breaks it or chops it off like a little lawnmower. It's the same concept as a sickle bar mower. If anybody's ever seen a sickle bar mower in their lifetime, that's the same concept. That's all it does. And the same thing now, the corn headers, though, they don't have the spinner bar on the top because they're not fluffing it up. They just have the cutters. And the cutters go back and forth like your clippers on your either hedge clippers or your hair cutting scissors clippers. The same concept. They go, what do you call it there? They go back and forth. See how I raised it? And you see very at the tip. Right here. See them? Let me see if I can get close enough here. See them? Those are your cutter bars. Now, a corn header won't have this. It'll have this, and it'll have these big auger things that'll look like these. And they go back and forth. Like, they'll go, the chopper bars going across, and then there's the header parts are going because corn is way up here, like height-wise. See how low barley is? Barley's like really low to the ground. Corn is like 5 feet tall. Truth be known, I'm pretty close to 6 foot tall, and their corn can be as tall as me. That's no joke. If you let it grow, it will. Another little part of a trivia, guys. Do you guys know what Indian corn is? Do you know what it is? Do you know what's causing it? Well, I'm going to give you the answer right now. Indian corn is basically corn that has been sun-dried too long in the sun. So basically an ear of corn, when we all know the color of corn, it's yellow. That's why they really, believe it or not, between you, me, and the wall, why they call it maize. What's maize? Native American for yellow. Really is. That's the truth. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. So that's why they call it maize, because maize is yellow. That's the color of the thing. But if you take an ear of corn, okay, the Native American people started this way back in the day, and they used it as decoration. You'd take an ear of corn, you'd pick it off the stalk, and you'd let it sit in the sun. And what the sun does is takes all of the chloroform and all of the coloring out, and it turns it all different colors. It turns it bright purple, it turns them bright red, it turns them all different colors, and that's all from the sun. Okay? And they don't have any water to them, so it dries them out, super dry, super dry, ear of corn. But it dries them out, and it makes them really cool. And the Native Americans back in the day would make them, and they would take the ears of corn off, and we, as Americans, called it Indian corn. Now, I don't know if that's politically correct, but I'm going to continue to say it because I don't mean any harm by it or anything like that, but that's what I've always known it as. But they would take all the individual kernels out, and they'd pick them out, and they'd put them on a string, and they'd make necklaces out of them, and they'd make bracelets, and they would make money out of them. And I learned that because a friend of mine is in the Cherokee tribe. I'm not quite sure what tribe he's in, but he went through and explained the whole process to me of how it actually works and and I was fascinated. You guys know how Fury is as far as my thirst for knowledge, and I just stood there and listened and listened and listened and listened And it was like a whole day of learning how it was made. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And to this day, people at farmers market, you can go and buy it, and you can buy it as a decoration, or you can buy it. Many people just put it on their front porch as decorations. It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat how it works. But that's it, you know. And being in the business that I was in for so long, not only being a farmer, but being in construction, I've met all walks of life, and you'd be amazed what I've learned over my life. As far as I've probably forgot more things that I've ever learned. It's stupid. That's it. That's pretty cool. I didn't know if you guys knew what that was. I don't know how, like, do they do it by bulk or not? I wasn't quite sure, but I do know how it actually works as far as... I hope I can make it to the end of this row. Send to this pass. Yeah, we're going to empty it right here. Perfect timing. Let's raise this. Turn the machine off. Leave the harvester running. Grab our joystick. Jump out. We got to give this thing a bath. Once this harvest is done, we got to wash this thing right out. Hi, Balloon. But I'm glad you guys are enjoying the series and having a blast with me. I try to be as informative as I can. I try to tell as many stories as I can to keep the hour going. I used to enjoy just doing a half an hour. Don't get me wrong. I used to absolutely enjoy it. But it goes almost too fast. You can't really learn anything in it. You don't get the... At least when you guys join me in for this hour... you get a chance to learn a little bit more. I get a chance to teach. Look at this. We are absolutely killing it today as far as harvesting goes. Still got a lot to go, but we're going right along now. Get my steering wheel straight. I'm just going to drive with my joystick for right now. This is a nice little contractor for real. Until I can't see it no more. I'm going to flip around, keep my steering wheel as straight as I can. And bada bing, bada boom. Now, I don't know the capacity. Grizzly, if you're watching this far into the video, anybody know the capacity on the farm silos here? We're going to find out if it's going to hold it all. We're getting quite a bit of barley off. And I'm sure the wheat will, because I think the wheat is a lot more, get more yield. Hoping I can fit that whole harvester, and I did. You know, when I first started the Fs22, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to like it or not. And I tell you, I have absolutely fallen in love with it. This little tractor is so look at the black smoke. Watch when I let off. Turns back to white. It's so super awesome. Now, the other thing is, too, is this a storage for fuel? Or is this a fill point for fuel? Oh. 13,750, and I can buy 10,000 liters. So you can buy it, but... Whoa, I don't want to do that. I don't want to buy anything right now. Or can you just put it in it and store it? Oh, it's a silo. It's considered a silo, so I can store it in here, right? I can store fuel. I can go to the store and buy it, and because that's what we used to have when we were a kid. We'd have a big truck come and it would fill it, and every day we'd pull up here and we'd fill our tractors because this tractor is one line below full, so it's okay still. We haven't been using it very long. Driving me nuts here. I think that's a seed and fertilizer purchase point in there, but we're not using that. We're going to go to the store and buy it. My rodeo. The reason I say a rodeo is my Land Rover. I owned a rodeo, believe it or not, a Zuzu rodeo. I owned one. It was the exact same color as this. And it looks just like it. It's crazy. All right, so those of you who watched it this far, let me know what these are. I'm assuming that's liquid fertilizer. I'm assuming... Do not use this water for drinking. Well, I wasn't planning on it, but I am going to give it to my animals. I'm assuming that's water. I don't quite know. So let me know. Let me know what this is. I'm assuming my silo is empty. Oh, liquid fertilizer silo. Okay, so I'm assuming I can probably buy liquid. Oh, yeah. So you can buy liquid fertilizer right from here, put it on their farm, or you can purchase it and bring it back in a tanker from the store, like if we bought pallets, and store it here. Am I correct? Or am I wrong on that? Let me know. Please, please, please. Fury's still learning. My head's been so deep into this harvest that I haven't had a chance to really figure out what's going on here. Maybe just went a different way. Gotta go up the road a little bit more so I have some more space to turn. There we go. The other thing is, I want to test something. Once we get this unloaded, I want to test my new sounds. Oh, it's much easier to back in that way. So when this is done, we'll shut this tractor off. I want to hear the new air sounds that I downloaded. Turn this up a little bit. I'm going to turn my volume up. If my voice gets a little loud, I'll turn it back down in a second. I apologize, but right now I just want to... Oh, 48,000 liters of barley already. Cool. All right, so hang on one second. All right, you ready? Okay, so... All right, this one I'm doing for Ranger because he's the one that told me about this. So ready? I'll be super quiet and I'll do this together. Ready? These are the new air sounds that I downloaded to go with the manual attach. Ready? First, we'll go the click. Okay, now the air sound. Super cool. All right, gotta turn my volume back down. Super, super cool. Thanks, Ranger, for that heads up on that. That's cool. All right, so we got our manual attach and we got our air sounds for our hoses. Cool. You know, if there's any cool mods out there for PC that you guys want me to try, that's, remember, most important thing, realistic, though. Got to keep it realistic, especially for this series. If it's a bigger, like, piece of equipment for, like, No Man's Land or whatever, I'm still willing to try it. I just want to make sure. I'm going to keep this off the field for now. Nice. All right, so we did that a couple of times. Ready? Do 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 do. It's Myra Gulch. We still got quite a bit of going here. We've taken 48,000 liters of barley off this field so far, and we are at 12.8. We've done 2.18 acres so far this session. We're at 12.80, and I'm guessing we probably got about 6 acres left, 8 acres left, I'm assuming. I took a guess. I took a shot in the dark, and I was assuming that this is like a 20-acre field, if not more. And I haven't looked, so this is strictly guessing. All right, pipe in. We'll watch it in our mirror. There, and I can put the joystick back down. Let's scoot up so I can drive. Because what I do is when I'm using my joystick, I hold it in my hand and set it on my lap. So I move away from the desk a little bit. So then that's why I always say I have to scoot up. Get this lined up a little bit better. Oops, got to turn my voice down. It's loud in my ear. It's loud. All right, and away we go for the next 13 minutes. We got 13 minutes to go. So we're actually going right along today harvesting. And I think a lot of that is because when I'm driving my passes on my headlands, I'm going like 20 miles an hour. It's a little more sped up than we normally would go. Normally, you'd probably just keep your cruise along and probably go 3-4 miles an hour and go up and down. But I'm just going right along. We are rocking, though. Yeah, I'm guessing. This is just Fury guessing. All my years of experience, I'm guessing probably 20, 25 acres is what I'm guessing. Which is actually, for a small farm with only one person like myself, that's a good size first field. And I'm assuming that the wheat field is probably just as big. That's what I'm assuming. That's just like I said, that's a complete guess. I don't want anybody guessing and telling me what size it is because I don't know, and I think that takes the fun out of it. Some of you guys have already completed the harvest on this field, and you already know the size of it, and I don't, I'm not going to play that game. There was a mod out, additional crop info, back in 19 that would tell that, but I don't want to get that mod because as much as it tells you basically now, it has additional crop info on it, like it tells you how much lime you need or if you need this. But I don't want to tell the sizes. I think that takes away from the fun. Now, once I harvest it, I'll know how the size of it, and then that is cool. Then I know. But as farmers, we know the size of our fields because we've all harvested them. We've cultivated them and plowed them and done the work on them, so we all know. Like I said, growing up, we had 2 80-acre grass fields. We had a 60-acre bean field, and we had a 100-acre field that we would rotate between corn and soybeans because we would put soybeans would be our main focus to mix with silage. Now, when I get ready to do the tutorials for the cows, I want you guys to know that there's a lot of controversy as far as some people believe this and some people believe that, but that is just the way they do it. I'm going to tell you the way that I did it and the way that we worked it out and the way that we did all of our measurements and everything like that. When we fed our cows, it's baffling to me that in 22 they changed it. In 22 you cannot feed your cows straight silage. Can't do it. It's either hay or mixed rations. It's absolutely baffling to me that they took that out. So, I'm not going to monkey with this map or whatever, but on all of my going forward, if it's a build map or whatever, my cow pens that I put down will be 100%. Will be 100%. Like, this is what you would do. You would just drive your harvester and then you'd keep going like around this speed right here, but we're gonna drive a little bit faster. 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 A little bit fa About 6 miles an hour is about right. So we would feed our cows 100% silage, but it wasn't just silage. It wasn't just grass silage or silage. We would put soybeans in it for protein, or we'd put our corn in ours for protein, because the cows need protein. They can't just have silage because it messes with their milk. It messes with their milk production if they don't have any protein, because a cow is producing milk for their babies, and it has a certain amount of protein in it, and has a certain amount of biomes in it. I think that's how it's pronounced. And there's certain things that they need. Now, when you put corn in it for protein, yes, they get protein, but they also get a lot of starch, which also hurts their lactic acid. Starch in an animal gives them, I think, the same thing for humans. We eat a lot of starchy foods and a lot of processed foods. It's you get a lot of lactic acid built up, and you get a lot of crap built up. But cows will have seriously bad joints if you just feed them corn all the time. That's why it's always a mixture. But we would also use, so the mineral feed is 100% realistic, 100%. The way we would do it is when we mixed it with our skid loader. We always mixed it in our mixing wagon. We would get our bucket held. I'll use the game mechanics. It would use like 500 liters. Realistically, we always went by tons. We'd put 1 scoop of silage in the mixing wagon, 1 scoop of soybeans, and then 2 or 3 scoops of the mineral feed in it. So they were getting their vitamins from the mineral feed. They were getting their protein from the soybeans, and they would get their the filler would be the silage. And to me, it was 100% silage and soybeans is what it was. And that's what our total mix ration was. But I do know farmers that put straw in it. I do know farmers that use straw as a filler, and they use corn, or they just use hay. Because to me, this is just my opinion. To me, it's a waste of time to put hay and silage in there, because guess what? It's the same thing. Grass dried out or grass rotten is still grass. They're still getting the same amount of protein and same amount of minerals and everything from hay that they do from grass. So to me, and this is the way my dad taught me, it's absolutely a waste of time to use hay and silage. Absolutely stupid. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means, to me, the cow's getting the same amount of nutrients either way. And the one thing that you never want to do is mess with their milk production. So if farmers just use silage only, some farmers use just hay only, some farmers don't put any beans or any corn in it. They mix it like FarmSim has it, where it's straw, hay, and grass. And there are farmers out there that use that. The problem with that is if you have to use mineral feed with it, because they won't get the minerals that they need. Cows absolutely need a bunch of minerals. They need a bunch of sodium. They need a bunch of salt. That's why you see salt licks. In a barn, you'll see salt licks. Horses need them. Cows need them. They need a bunch of salt. And it's just something they use a lot of. Our bulls would use more than our girl cows. Girls and cows are the same thing. But the girls wouldn't eat as much, especially if they were after they've had babies, because they're milking. And what we do is, when the baby is born, the calf is born, for the first couple of days it stays with its mom. No lie. It doesn't leave its mom's side. You don't go and take them away. They get the nutrients from their mom. After about a week, boom, they get yanked away. But they're bottle fed. We bottle feed them by hand. They get put in their own separate little stalls, and then they get the milk from the mom. Well, not necessarily her, but a cow. You take some milk and you put it in a bottle, and it's all unpasteurized and all raw, and it not separate. It's got the fat on the top, the whole 9 yards, and that's what you feed the calf. After about a week, 10 days, they're separated. As time goes by, you start to wean them off the bottle and start weaning them onto solid food. But at first, you're feeding them more or less straight mineral feed. You start feeding them some straight hay bales. You start feeding them as their digestive system gets a little bit more adept to eating solid foods. Once they get to that point, then there's no turning back. Then they don't have any milk anymore pretty much for the rest of their lives. Just as they're like really, really, really babies. And then probably by the time they're 6 months old, they're, well, I'd say less than that, probably a couple of months old. They're not having any more milk. They don't have milk for the rest of their lives. They drink water and they eat solid foods. And that's it. And then whatever the grass they graze off of the ground, they'll just constantly eat it. They're just by the time they become a couple of months old, all cows do, dairy cows, is they eat and they poop and they pee. I'll try to be as politically correct on that, but that's literally all they do. When they get to be artificially inseminated, and some farmers were old school where they would put a bull in and let him do his thing, but that doesn't work really. So most of the cows in real life are now artificially inseminated, and the big doctor comes in and boom, 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 or sometimes we did it, and you have to actually do it. It's gross. I'm not going to get into it. But once they have their babies, then they're treated completely different for a little while. So I'll get into that when we get into the tutorial on the cows, and I'll explain how it works and explain, but I just kind of gave you a basic overview of it. But yep, they don't drink milk. They don't, like, we have a variety as humans of different, like, we have the luxury of eating a whole bunch of different things. Cows don't. All they ever do is eat the same thing over and over and over again. Every day of the week, 7 days a week, and they drink water. And cows, how do I put this without being mean? Cows are not bright. They're not smart animals. They're stubborn. They're angry. Then again, if I had to eat the same things every day of the week too, I'd be angry too. Shut this off, and we're gonna say our goodbyes. But they're stubborn, and they're ornery, and they're, especially the bulls. The bulls are really ornery, and they're just not very bright. But anyways, so we made it to another episode, and we got 13.70 acres so far harvested. We've worked, as you can see, almost 5 hours just in this field alone. We are killing it. We are rocking and rolling. I'm assuming, let's go quick here, I'm guessing probably another 2, 3, 4 hours in this field, and then we'll be finished. And then we're going to head on over to, I think it's somewhere over there. We're going to do our wheat field. But before we start harvesting that, we're going to get our cows set up. I'll do a tutorial video on that, all that stuff, and then we're ready to go. So on that note, as you see, it's 1 o'clock. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Be sure to look out for yourselves, look out for each other, and most importantly, look out for each other's families. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bells. Be sure to enjoy the night, the day, the weekend, whenever you're watching this. And on that note, Fury Machine will catch everyone back here tomorrow. It'll be 1 o'clock for me, but it'll be tomorrow for you guys. And on that note, have a wonderful Sunday evening, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.